few days ago, a dear viewer by the name of George sent me an email. He sent me a key for his game, Carnal, and asked if I could check it out. Carnal is a stylized FPS, and George said one of his inspirations for the game was the Half-Life 2 beta. Full disclosure, this is not a paid video, nor is it sponsored. I will be critical of the game, but not to discourage George, but I want him to see this video and be encouraged to further improve this project. Right off the bat, I have to say that Carnal has something going for its art style. In the settings, I did turn off the VHS filter, as I feel it's more of a distraction than a visual enhancer. I also later turned off the lumen lighting, as my graphics card can't handle UE5 games on max settings. The atmosphere that Carnal presents proved to be a solid foundation, but I feel like in the long run it just loses its charm very quickly. I hope to explain why in a few minutes. The weapon being an image rather than a 3D model is also a nice touch, and with the movement and the weapon sway, it's strangely enjoyable to look at. In some places I stopped for a few seconds to take in the ambience, as I feel like it was very well done, but on the other hand, most of the maps felt very simple and empty. On the gameplay side of things, the gunplay is 50-50 for me. The movement, how the guns work, how they sound, that's great, but the enemy AI is very basic. With my little knowledge of game development and how code works, I would suggest to add in nodes, AI nodes like how Source Engine does it. This will tell the AI to take cover or know where to move when they see the player. Right now, all three of the enemy types just run towards you. The enemy with the guns have a projectile-based damage system, which kind of defeats the purpose when you can just move out of the way. A better way to do this would be to use hit scanning like Half-Life 1 or 2. And on a similar note, I feel like the 3D models of the ranged enemies is a bit too detailed compared to the simplistic art style the game is going with. Another thing that I didn't kinda like was the unlimited ammo. I feel like unlimited ammo defeats the purpose of having multiple weapons. If you can use the machine gun non-stop, then I won't use the pistol at all. Having ammo limits implements a challenge to the player to use the right weapon for the right situation, otherwise we'd all keep using the same gun throughout a game. The maps in Carnal are very simple and straight to the point, like I said. I feel like the maps are what holds back the game's true potential. But I do have a few key notes to say about the maps. Firstly, introduce a little verticality. Carnal is a short 15 minutes experience and has about 4 to 5 different maps in it. Only 1 or 2 had stairs in them, but that still made it look very straightforward, like everything's flat. To get inspiration, look at maps from Doom or Half-Life, see how they implement height in their maps and how they place enemies in it. Then there's the empty rooms. Some of the rooms have no props or models in them. I know the game is supposed to be minimalist in design, but there's a point where too much minimalism takes away the gameplay and leaves you with empty boxy rooms to move through. Tables, chairs, barrels, wooden crates, anything at all would improve the maps a lot. If the enemy AI is improved to take cover, then these props would be the perfect way to make them take cover from the player and vice versa. And of course, the player will need a crouch function too to take cover behind barrels and such. Lastly, and I don't want to sound like a broken record, but pitch black maps ruin the gameplay. When you're forced to use your flashlight all the time, that directs your attention to only what you see in the flashlight's radius and nothing else in the map. Even a dim, atmospheric light throughout the map would go a long way to fix this. And this kinda got irritating in the map where I was underground and it was designed like a maze and I had absolutely no idea where to go. Adding in landmarks like statues or something big or something unique in one of the rooms could be a great way for players to remember where they've been through and where they're going. But again, like I said in the beginning, I don't mean to sound rude or harsh or talk shit about a game that cost less than $2. It's a project that has some work put in it, and I'm proud of George of publishing it. Any indie dev who's published game knows that's one hell of an achievement to have. In its current state, I don't really think it should be a paid game at all. It has a long way to go. Maybe once you improve it, add more stuff in it, then maybe it should be monetized. I hope George finds this video helpful in improving his game even further. And if you have suggestions for this game, share them down in the comments. They might prove to be useful for other indie devs like George. So, that's pretty much it for this one. Sure, the video's a little different, but I was really interested in Carnal because of how it looks. For a short indie game made by one person, it is quite good, but like I said, it can be improved to be even better. Thanks so much for watching, and a big thanks to these benefactors for supporting the channel. Unusual, T-Boy301, Tom, Jack5282, Taiwanesium, Bubba, Quiltman, 501st Clone Boy, Interloper CS, TTG, Robocop, Noel, Nobody Important, Franco Senlehi, Cheemsburger, Justin Imbergriff, Tedosaur, Otakan Nachos, Lambdre, Roadkill, Walter, Taylor, Hobgobbies, No Click, Geode, Fisher Grice, Hawkassault, Mistress Paban, Jelen, A Normal Street Lamp, TRR Droid, and Bipolit. Thanks again, and see you in the next one.